storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.
Day that she had a ticket to Atlanta, purchased before she ever changed it to go to New York City.
We back, people. We back. Closing arguments. We are back with closing arguments in day 2 of the Stefon Diggs Chef Strangulation trial. MA versus Diggs. Let's dig into it. Diggs deep, LLC, baby.
You saw video and heard from Tali Moses, who spent the entire week with Miss Adams in New York. And you got to see how she looked. You got to see her face. You got to see her neck. You got to see the way she moved during the course of that week. One thing I'll say about that, Miss Adams, she might define bruising, however, is expedient or convenient for her, but we all know what bruising looks like. You saw the videos and you heard from the witnesses. On December 5th, Ms. Adams texted Stefon Diggs, "Hi, can you please approve my pay with finance, please and thank you." That would have been 2.5 days after he violently strangled her in her bedroom. December 6th, you saw the video of her dancing. That's 3.5 days after this assault allegedly occurred. You heard that throughout the course of that week, from December 2nd to December 9th, Miss Adams didn't mention a single thing about any assault to anyone. The one thing you heard her mention was on the afternoon of December 2nd, she told Shy she wasn't going to Miami. You heard that on December 9th, she went back to the house. And I told you the details were going to be important about her going back to the house in my opening statement. She got back to the house at 11:30 p.m. alone and walked into the house. But what did she do? She didn't just go to Stefon Diggs' bedroom door and knock on it. She tried to punch in the code, and it didn't work. And those are her words. That's what she told you. None of that is consistent with a violent assault having occurred the last time they interacted with one another. Not one piece of that. And those are undisputed facts. On December 11th, Miss Adams texted Mr. Diggs her apology. She said she was sorry she was being emo, and she didn't want him to feel that way. She didn't want him to think she was trying to quit her job. And she told you she was trying to keep her job. She was trying to get back. She also told the police 5 days later, that she had quit her job on December 2nd. We know that that was a lie. Not just from the fact that she actually told you that that was a lie, but from the actual evidence that you have in this case that is undisputed. That evidence goes on. She told Mr. Diggs's girlfriend that she didn't say any of that to the police, meaning what she told the police, that she didn't accuse Mr. Diggs of assault. And that wasn't true. She also, a month later, told the world that she had never demanded money. And that also wasn't true. Now, more undisputed facts. Miss Adams was paid for November. At first, she didn't admit that. She ended up saying they worked it out. She got paid for 2-3 weeks. And we actually got an answer today on why she wasn't paid for a full month. Because she was in Tobago with Shy Charles. You heard from Melissa Goddard. Miss Adams was paid up. The non-disclosure agreement. Miss Goddard talked to you about that. And you heard about that from Miss Adams. I want you to look at the text message in Exhibit 4. It's on page 195. We talked about it a little bit yesterday afternoon. But this is another undisputed fact, and it's very important. Because despite what Miss Adams told the police on December 16th and told you at times yesterday, on December 13th, 2025, Miss Adams says what she thinks the NDA is about. And she says, you sitting here playing in my face, 700 comments. If I told someone why it's not in the blog, you believe it, meaning Mr. Diggs, and now sign an NDA. Send me my money. You sitting here playing in my face. Miss Adams wants you to believe she wouldn't tell Shy Charles because Shy Charles knew Mr. Diggs. That requires you to completely ignore the fact that she chose freely and willingly to go to New York to stay with Shy Charles. December 13th, she told Mr. Diggs, she told Stefon Diggs what she thought the NDA was all about. And it was about the blog issue. You think it might make a little sense if the NDA was about any kind of a physical assault, a strangulation? That she might say to him anything. Hey,
listen, you in trouble, girl. You in trouble, girl. I'm here to let you know. Ooh, the lawyer is lawyering.
not a word. She describes why that's there. And those are her words from December 13th. And that is,
it's illegal to drive without car insurance in almost every U.S. state, but there's one thing you could try pretty much any time if you want to save.
because Miss Adams went to the police, as you heard, on December 16th. And there's other undisputed facts in this report. She lied to the police. She did not leave her job. Miss Adams told you something yesterday where she said, well, left my position was like in the house, but that wasn't my job. And you heard what Officer Ellis said this morning. I said, you mean her position, as in her job? And he said, of course. She told Officer Ellis that she just went back to get her stuff. And you know that isn't true. And at times, she seemed to admit that that wasn't true. And you know from her own words at the time to both Mr. Diggs and to Sonny that that wasn't true. The text message that you've heard about the deletion. There's two things that I want you to pay close attention to and that I want to talk to you about in both Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2. Exhibit 1, the text message that she sent purporting to be a screenshot of the argument that led to a violent assault that ended with Mr. Diggs choking her. That's what she told Officer Ellis. And you heard that from him this morning. You also heard from her that she deleted messages. And I think what she said was something like, I didn't want to look bad. Or something along those lines. And if you look at what was actually deleted, the words she said, she was saying bet and pussy were what she deleted. That's what she did. She did delete those messages, right? Those are not in the text messages that she provided to Dedham police. But more importantly, what she actually deleted that wasn't about making her look bad or not, it was right after the words, "I'm out of your life." And it said, "and ruining that bitch life." And then you can actually go to Exhibit 2 and look, there's a fairy emoji she sent. And why that's important is because, as you heard from Officer Ellis this morning, it'd be important to know if somebody deleted messages. It'd be important to see the full picture. And that message right there, and ruining that bitch life, apologies for the language, with the fairy emoji, you think that might have prompted the question, hey, who's that bitch? She answered the question for you yesterday. It was Lindsay. The argument wasn't about money. You have it in evidence. And Miss Adams later admitted that. These lies to the police, the fact that they're undisputed, why? Look at all of those facts. They're undisputed in the record. They are all there. If you remove from those facts one thing, that an assault occurred, they all make sense. If you plug in that she was assaulted that afternoon before all of this happened, before everything I just read to you, none of it makes sense. Why would a person who was just strangled go down to the kitchen, chat on the phone, and not have a single mark on their face or look even remotely bothered? Why would that same person cook dinner for the man who just did it? Why would that same person knock on his bedroom door and deliver 2 birthday presents? Why would she act the way she did for the next week? And then why lie about it repeatedly to the police? And what ended up happening next, just chronologically, gives away the game on that. Because what you heard is that only a couple weeks later, her mediator made a demand for money. And if you plug that fact in, now it all makes perfect sense. We have provided evidence to you. We have presented evidence. We have called witnesses. As I said, we're doing so in order to give you the fullest picture of December 2nd and of what happened or did not happen. And think about that for one moment. How do you prove a negative? It's basically impossible, right? Pick a day 2 months ago, account for every action that you did on that day. Every moment of your day. Great, now prove it.
Damn.
And this trap, the framers of our system, they were aware of it. And that's why it works the way that it does. The burden is on the Commonwealth to prove their case. And their case, as you have seen, is the internally inconsistent testimony of one witness. And that is their entire case.
Ooh.
And that is not enough to meet their burden. The burden that you are going to hear is reasonable doubt. And the judge is going to tell you that that's to a moral certainty. How much would you bet on the words of Jamila Adams? Would you bet your own life? Someone else's? You have all of the tools in what I just laid out for you to make a credibility assessment. But it is not only that, because the other thing the judge is going to tell you is you can actually take into account the way the witness answered questions, behaved, their demeanor, how they looked. Did they sound consistent? Did the things they say actually at least stay true internally in their own story? And one example I'll give you on that is this morning when Ms. Adams was asked about another monetary demand. She didn't answer the question. She couldn't. She wouldn't. She gave you multiple excuses. She tried to say attorney-client privilege, and when there was no response to that, she said, I can't answer that correctly. Take the way she answered questions into account, but line it up against the facts that you know that you have, because that's how you got to make a decision, on facts, on evidence. In terms of the evidence that the Commonwealth has actually presented to you, what they have presented to you are the claims of one person. Their second witness undermined their first. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason they had absolutely nothing to corroborate this allegation, which one thing I will say about the assault and battery, she described Mr. Diggs slapping her on the right side of her face.
You know what?
With his right hand. And she actually demonstrated it for you. But the problem is that's a physical impossibility. And the reason I would suggest to you that that demonstration didn't go quite well is because sometimes people miss their mark. Sometimes actors forget the script. What you do not have before you is anything that you can base a firm decision on, unless that decision is that the Commonwealth has not proved its case. The Commonwealth has an opportunity to speak to you after I do. And you heard the Commonwealth question some witnesses about working for Mr. Diggs. There's a number of people who were called as witnesses who tried to be as quick as possible. It's not terribly exciting to hear a witness talk about how they heard and saw nothing. But for a moment, stop and think and ask yourself, if you were accused of having something happen at your house on some random day.
Oh my God, somebody in the comments said Cardi B did her magic. Look, court magic is a very real thing. It's a very real thing. And the way that the plaintiff, the chef BBL, the way that she was so confused when she got on the stand, the way she looked like a fool, low-key, high-key made a fool of herself. I feel like that could have been spiritual work to confuse her so she wouldn't be a good witness. That's what this is given to me. By the way, if you do need spiritual work, DM me or email me. I know somebody. Do it like it's your B-Day, baby. All right, back to it.
The most significant financial interest in this is Jamila Adams. You heard her talk a lot about money yesterday. And that was the Commonwealth's only witness to even touch on what they claim this assault was. That's their evidence. They cannot, and they have not, proved this case because no assault occurred on December 2nd, or as I said, any other day. And it's your obligation to hold them to that burden and to decide the case on the evidence that you have in front of you. And that evidence provides one answer alone. And I would suggest to you that is that Miss Adams made this accusation as a means of trying to leverage and humiliate and to punish Stefon Diggs. And you heard that he has been living with this case and these accusations since December of 2025. And it is time to end. The evidence that you have heard that has been put before you is not enough for the Commonwealth to sustain their burden. It is your obligation to return a true and a just verdict. And the evidence that you have heard requires that you go back into that room and that you lift this burden off Mr. Diggs' shoulders and that you tell him and the world that Stefon Diggs is not guilty of this incident that never occurred. Thank you.
Damn, his lawyer's good.
Good afternoon. Feels like it's been a little while since last time I talked to you guys directly.
Oh God, her attorney looks slovenly. Look at that suit. Do she got a public defender? Oh God. Oh girl, you finna lose.
She was argumentative, avoided, difficult. But does that mean you should throw away everything she says? She said, no. I think it'd be easy for you guys to do that, but that's not your job. You guys are the jury. It's your job, your sacred duty, to comb over every bit of evidence you heard, to consider it, to give it the attention it deserves. The attention, the scrutiny, the weight it deserves. You don't have to like Miss Adams. You don't have to like the way she testified today and yesterday, but you do have to give her and her testimony the attention it deserves. You heard from her about what happened in that room on December 2nd. She said, he entered the room, slapped her, put her in a headlock, said some things to her. I suggest if you remember how she was testifying, I think the way she was testifying to that lends some to her credibility. She was taking her time. She was looking. She was trying to remember things.
He's confused. Oh my God, this is magic. This is magic. No, it's not just that he's ill prepared. He do like a manager at dry time. He's confused. Oh my God, this is spiritual work. Oh my God.
He had an opportunity to kind of put herself together. She said she cried.
Oh my God. Y'all seeing it right there.
Kind of started packing. The question you may be having is, why would she act that way?
See?
Why was she going out
See?
and smiling?
Don't y'all ever fucking doubt me in your motherfucking life.
All the people she was around are people that have known Mr. Diggs much longer than they've known her. I suggest you even consider the relationship she had with Mr. Diggs. He was sometimes lover, a boss, landlord. He was a athlete, a celebrity, financially powerful, surrounded by people that were all on his payroll that liked him. That when you put that all in consideration, her behavior does make sense in that it was her way of continuing on past that. And she told you that they had a complicated relationship. She said they argued all the time. So that might also make sense as to why she texted them afterwards saying, hey, trying to make amends or trying to figure things out, why she gave the birthday present afterwards. In this case, you heard four kind of things, right? You heard things that weren't evidence. The openings, these closings, questions, things that were stricken, those are things that aren't evidence. They can kind of give you some context, but those aren't the evidence in and of themselves. You heard the actual evidence. That was the testimony from the witnesses, the videos, photos, and you'll be able to see also all those text messages. The third thing you're going to hear, so things that aren't evidence, things that are evidence, and the law. The judge gave you some preliminary law at the start of the case. She's going to now, once closings are done, instruct you on the full law. I ask that you give her the same attention that you've given to all the evidence, and you've given the same attention to both attorneys during their closing. You give the judge that attention when she reads the law. And there's a fourth thing that you're going to need to pay attention and listen to and consider, and that's each other. When you guys are done here, once I finish, once the judge reads the law to you guys, it'll be your job to go into that room and deliberate on this case. When you go in that room, it's up to you guys how you want to run it. There's no manual, there's no guide, there's no schedule of how you guys are going to come to your decision and reach your verdict. And no one is going to make sure you're doing it one way. What I would suggest you guys do, and you guys can do whatever you want. This is just my suggestion to you. What I suggest you guys do is you don't go in there and just say, all right, let's take a poll right off the bat. I suggest you guys take the time, go over all the evidence, go over each witness, talk about each witness, try and do it both ways.
Why is he not talking about how big Stefon is, his physicality? Why are you not bringing up the other allegations and the other lawsuits that Stefon is currently in? I don't know. Maybe they threw that out. They're not allowing him to talk about that. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I would have been focusing on, this is a celebrity. He has a lot of money. He has a lot of power. The power dynamic. He was sleeping with his employee. 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 I would have been like digging. Diggs Deep LLC. I would have been digging in on that. This lawyer is trash. Trash box.
So that verdict is the verdict of guilty on all counts. Thank you very much.
That was a horrible closing argument. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'd have been focusing on his baby mamas, the fact that he's an alleged sexual deviant. Girl, I would have been focusing on what Chris said. I would have pulled, well, you probably couldn't pull him in, but I would have been focused on that. That was terrible. That was terrible. Oh my God. Listen, Mischief BBL, baby, the way I feel like you're finna lose this case and probably gonna get counsel sued for his attorney fees, but we know you broke, but still. Wow.
You are about to begin your final duty, which is to decide the fact issues in this case. Before you do that, I will instruct you on the law. It was obvious to me throughout this trial that you faithfully discharged your duty to listen carefully to all the evidence and observe the witnesses. I now ask you to give me that same close attention as I instruct you on the law. My function as the judge in this case has been to see that this trial was conducted fairly, orderly, and efficiently. It was also my responsibility to rule on what you may consider as evidence and to instruct you on the law which applies in this case. It is your duty as jurors to accept the law as I stated to you. You should consider all my instructions as a whole. You may not ignore any instruction or give special attention to any one instruction. You must follow the law as I give it to you, whether you agree with it or not. It was the duty of the attorneys in this case to object when the other side offered evidence which that lawyer believed was not admissible under our rules of evidence. They also had an obligation to ask to speak with me at the judge's bench at sidebar about questions of law which the law requires me to rule on out of your hearing. The purpose of such objections and rulings is not to keep relevant information from you, just the opposite. It's to make sure that what you hear is relevant to this case and that the evidence is presented.
Okay, she talking her shit. Okay, shout out to the judge. Shout out, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If I was on that jury, I would have to convict. I would have to say he's not guilty. They did not present enough evidence, and every witness contradicted what she said. This is so unfortunate because I want to feel like he may have actually did this, but without any proof in the court of law, he can't be convicted, y'all. He may owe her some money as far as, you know, the work is concerned, but the actual I would have to say not guilty. Damn.
Sense, life experience, and good judgment.
Damn.
You are to decide what the facts are solely from the evidence admitted in this case. In evaluating the evidence and determining the facts, keep in mind that we all tend to perceive information and form opinions based on our own personal experience and background. This tendency may cause us to hold bias, of which we may or may not be conscious. And as I previously instructed you, we must not allow bias, whether held consciously or subconsciously, to interfere with your ability to fairly evaluate the evidence, apply the law as I instruct you, or render a fair and impartial verdict based on the evidence before you. The evidence consists of the testimony of witnesses as you recall it, and documents or other things that were received into evidence as exhibits may also be considered. Of course, the quality or strength of the proof is not determined by the sheer volume of evidence or the number of witnesses. It's the weight of the evidence that is important. Some things that occurred during a trial are not evidence, and you may not consider them as evidence in deciding the facts of the case. The complaint itself is not evidence.
What the hell?
A question put to a witness is never evidence. Only the answers are evidence. Also, you may not consider any answer that I struck from the record and told you to disregard. Do not consider such answers. Anything that you may have seen or heard when the court was not in session is not evidence. The opening statements and the closing arguments of the lawyers are not evidence. They are only intended to assist you in understanding the evidence and the contentions of the parties. If your memory of the testimony differs from the attorney's, you are to follow your own recollection. You should not consider anything I have said or done during the trial as any indication of my opinion as to what your verdicts should be. In evaluating a witness's testimony, you have to decide what testimony to believe and how much weight to give that testimony. You should give the testimony of a witness whatever degree of belief and importance that you judge it is fairly entitled to receive. You are the sole judges of the credibility of a witness. You may believe everything a witness says, part of it or none of it. If there are any conflicts, discrepancies, or inconsistencies in the testimony, you should examine them carefully. You may consider whether a witness was candid or guarded, responsive or evasive, and whether the testimony is reasonable or unreasonable, probable or improbable. You may take into account how good an opportunity a witness had to observe the facts about which the witness testifies and whether the testimony seems accurate. You may also consider evidence, if any, about a witness's motive for testifying, whether a witness displays any bias in testifying, and whether or not a witness has any interest in the outcome of the case. In deciding whether to believe a witness and how much importance to give a witness's testimony, you must look at all the evidence, drawing on your own common sense, life experience, and good judgment. Consider the evidence as a whole. Do not make up your mind about what the verdict should be until after you have gone to the jury room to decide the case and you and your fellow jurors have discussed the evidence. Keep an open mind until then. Once you have determined the facts, apply the law as I explain it to you to the facts in order to decide the verdicts.
Right there in my face.
Now, there are two types of evidence which you may use to determine the facts of a case: direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. You have direct evidence where a witness testifies directly about the fact that is to be proved based on what he claims to have seen or heard or felt with their own senses. And the only question is whether you believe the witness. You have circumstantial evidence where the witness cannot testify directly about the fact that is to be proved, but you are presented with evidence of other facts, and you are then asked to draw reasonable inferences from them about the fact which is to be proved. Let me give you an example. Your daughter might tell you one morning she sees the mail carrier mailbox. That's direct evidence that the mail carrier has been to your mailbox. On the other hand, she might tell you only that she sees mail in the mailbox. That's circumstantial evidence that the mail carrier has been there. No one's seen the mail carrier, but infer that the mail carrier has been there since there is mail in the box. The law allows either type of proof in a criminal trial. There are two things to keep in mind about circumstantial evidence. The first one is that you may draw inferences and conclusions only from facts that have been proved to you. The second rule is that any inference or conclusion which you draw...
The volume is up as much as it can be. It is their mic. Anybody else ask about it? I'm sorry, I'm finna start blocking you. There's nothing I can do about that.
And the defendant guilty only if those circumstances are conclusive enough to leave you with a moral certainty, a clear and settled belief that the defendant is guilty, and that there is no other reasonable explanation of the facts as proven. The evidence must not only be consistent with the defendant's guilt, it must be inconsistent with his innocence. Whether the evidence is direct or circumstantial, the Commonwealth must prove the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt from all the evidence in the case. Now, when you can...
Are you driving way less than you used to? Do you have a clean driving record? Are you over 25? Do you not?
You may consider whether that witness said or wrote something earlier that differs in any significant way from their present testimony in the courtroom. It is for you to say whether there is a difference and how significant any difference is. Please note that you may not use the witness's earlier statement as proof that something said in it is true. So, for example, if a witness testified here that she found a donut but had earlier written that they found a bagel, that earlier statement would not prove they found a bagel, but it might raise doubt as to whether they were accurate or truthful when they testified that they had found a donut. So the earlier statement is brought to your attention for the sole purpose of discrediting or casting doubt on the accuracy of the witness's present testimony here at the trial. It's for you to decide whether it does so. Normally, you may not consider any statement that a witness made in the past, which is similar to...
Yes, I can put the link for the webinar. Yes, ma'am. 1 second.
On our common experience that saying something repeatedly doesn't necessarily make it any more or less true. But we make an exception if that to that rule where there has been a suggestion that a witness may have recently contrived their testimony. In determining how reliable a witness is who has been accused of recently inventing their testimony, you may consider any earlier statements that the witness made, which are consistent with their present testimony. It's for you to say how important the consistency is, depending on what,
okay, that's going to be pinned in the chat.
Was made, and any other circumstances that you consider significant. The earlier statement is not itself evidence of the fact that is mentioned in it. to repeat, if there has been a suggestion that a witness recently contrived their testimony at trial, when you evaluate that claim, you may also take into account any earlier statement the witness made which is consistent with their present testimony. The prior statement is relevant only as to the witness's credibility, and you may not take it as proof of any fact contained in it. At this trial, you may have noticed that the defendant did not testify. The defendant has an absolute right not to testify, since the entire burden of proof, in this case, is on the Commonwealth to prove that the defendant is guilty.
Oh, he
It is
chose not to
up the defendant
testify.
to prove that he is innocent.
Wow.
The fact that the defendant did not testify has nothing to do with the question of whether he is guilty or not guilty. You are not to draw any adverse inference against the defendant because he did not testify. You are not to consider.
I ain't gonna lie, because her attorney was supposed to tear him up on that stand.
You must determine whether the Commonwealth has proved its case against the defendant based solely on the testimony of the witnesses and the exhibits. As I have told you, the complaint against the defendant is only an accusation. It is not evidence. The defendant has denied that he is guilty of the crimes charged in the complaint. The law presumes the defendant to be innocent of the charges against him. The presumption of innocence is a rule of law that compels you to find the defendant not guilty unless and until the Commonwealth produces evidence from whatever source that proves that the defendant is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. This burden of proof never shifts. The defendant is not required to call any witnesses or produce any evidence since he is presumed to be innocent. The presumption of innocence stays with the defendant unless and until the evidence convinces you unanimously as a jury that the defendant is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It requires you to find the defendant not guilty unless his guilt has been proved beyond a reasonable doubt. Your verdict, whether it is guilty or not guilty, must be unanimous. Now, as I've said, the burden is on the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of the charges made against him. What is proof beyond a reasonable doubt? The term is often used and probably pretty well understood, though it is not easily defined. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt does not mean proof beyond all possible doubt. For everything in the lives of human beings is open to some possible or imaginary doubt. A charge is proved beyond a reasonable doubt if, after you have compared and considered all of the evidence, you have in your mind an abiding conviction to a moral certainty that the charge is true. When we refer to moral certainty, we mean the highest degree of certainty possible in matters relating to human affairs based solely on the evidence that has been put before you in this case. I have told you that every person is presumed to be innocent until they are proved guilty, and that the burden of proof is on the prosecutor. If you evaluate all the evidence and you still have a reasonable doubt remaining, the defendant is entitled to the benefit of that doubt and must be acquitted. It is not enough for the Commonwealth to establish a probability, even a strong probability, that the defendant is more likely to be guilty than not guilty. That is not enough. Instead, the evidence must convince you of the defendant's guilt to a reasonable and moral certainty, a certainty that convinces your understanding and satisfies your reason and judgment as jurors who are sworn to act conscientiously on the evidence. That is what we mean by proof beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant is charged with having committed an assault and battery upon Mila Adams. In order to prove the defendant guilty of committing an intentional assault and battery, the Commonwealth must prove three things beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that the defendant touched the person of Mila Adams. Second, that the defendant intended to touch Mila Adams. And third, that the touching was either likely to cause bodily harm to Mila Adams or was offensive. To prove the first element, the Commonwealth must prove the defendant touched Mila Adams. A touching is any physical contact, however slight. A touching may be direct, as when a person strikes another, or it may be indirect, as when a person sets in motion some force or instrumentality that strikes another. To prove the second element, the Commonwealth must prove that the defendant intended to touch Mila Adams, in the sense that the defendant consciously and deliberately intended the touching to occur, and that the touching was not merely accidental or negligent. The Commonwealth is not required to prove that the defendant specifically intended to cause injury to Mila Adams. To prove the third element, the Commonwealth must prove that the touching was either likely to cause bodily harm to Mila Adams or was offensive. A touching is offensive when it is without consent. If the Commonwealth has proven all three elements beyond a reasonable doubt, you should return a verdict of guilty. If the Commonwealth has failed to prove one or more of the elements beyond a reasonable doubt, you must find the defendant not guilty.
And y'all really be out here just fighting and laying y'all hands on people? Man, ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way in the world.
The Commonwealth must prove three things beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that the defendant intentionally applied pressure on the throat or neck of Mila Adams. Second, that the pressure was substantial. And third, that the pressure interfered with the normal breathing or circulation of blood of Mila Adams. To prove the first element, the Commonwealth must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant intentionally applied pressure on the throat or neck of Mila Adams. The Commonwealth must prove that the defendant consciously and deliberately intended the touching to occur, and that it was not merely accidental or negligent. You may examine any evidence regarding the defendant's actions or words and all the surrounding circumstances to determine whether the defendant intended to apply pressure to the throat or neck of Mila Adams. To prove the second element, the Commonwealth must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the pressure was substantial. You may consider evidence, if any, about how, where, when, and for what duration the pressure was applied, as well as any evidence of its effect or impact on Mila Adams. To prove the third element, the Commonwealth must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the pressure that was applied interfered with the normal breathing or circulation of blood of Mila Adams. If the Commonwealth has proven all three elements.
Bye. Here, they had that in their time. You don't like what I put in my time? Bye. Okay, they went to deliberation now. Yeah, anyway, long story long. Okay, that's 226, that wasn't. Long story long. Long story long. I think he's gonna be not guilty. Thank you. I don't know why they play these games like that. Damn. It's a mess. Anybody want to come up and say anything while we, deliberating? While they're deliberating, not me. Actually, hmm, yeah, why not? Fuck it. They may be. I don't know. I don't know. That was just irritating me. Yeah, why you sitting there worried about what I type? Learn how to monetize your mouth. Okay, make sure y'all get y'all tickets. Get your ticket for the webinar. Get your ticket for the web. I'm gonna come up with a little rap for this too. Hell, ain't no shame in my game, baby. You got to, you got to say. Every time y'all say monetize your mouth is bananas. Monetize your mouth. I really don't see the issue with it. I don't see the issue with it. Listen, monetize your mouth. Come take a 5-night workshop. We are going. We are going to be live on Zoom where I teach you. I'm even bringing in a teacher to come in to teach you how to monetize your mouth, how to make money off of your mouth. Why would you be out running your mouth? We all like to talk. We all like to gossip. You did. We all like to, some people like to debate. Some people don't. Use your mouth to get to the money, to get to the bag. The ticket is $33.33. And guess what? That covers all 5 nights of the workshop. What other workshop is you going to get where it ain't number $33? None but $33. That's it. All right. It starts the 27th, May 27th through the 31st. And yes, the replays will be available. And if you buy a ticket, let's say you buy a ticket and you can't make it, baby, that replay is free for you. How long do we have to sign up? You got all month. But I suggest you sign up beforehand. But baby, you got all month. I'm selling every day. You hear me? I'm selling every day. What's going on, Chandra or Chandra?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm enjoying your content and the lives. I think he did it. I didn't see everything, but I don't think it's far-fetched that he had a bunch of women in his house and he didn't like that she was saying too much
wait a minute.
information.
Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. They might be back. Hold on. Let me see. 1 second. They might be back.
Deliberations, incoming, outgoing calls, or any other kind
Damn,
of
that was quick.
communications can disrupt the deliberative process, or even allow for the receipt of improper extraneous information. So you're not to conduct any outside research or investigation by means of the internet or otherwise about the law or facts in this case. If during your deliberations there is a request,
Damn, I can't hear shit she's saying.
The evidence that is not physically with you. For instance, there are flash drives that contain certain of the videos that were displayed here in the courtroom. If the jury should like to see any of that, if that is just requested in any note form,
I'm gonna take you down for just a second.
Make sure that is displayed for you as many times as you might want. All right, so just let the court know by mentioning that in a note. At this point, I am going to ask Mr. Clerk to swear the court officers in, and they will escort you to your deliberations.
Do you swear that you will keep this jury in some convenient place until they are agreed? That you will not suffer any person to speak to them, nor will you speak to them yourself, except by order of the court or to ask if they are agreed? And that you will not permit them to depart until they've agreed upon a verdict, except by order of the court, so help you God.
I do.
Here's the verdict slip. That sheet of paper. Thank you.
Okay, you can go ahead. That's just saying instructions. That's the jury instructions. I had to see. I'm like, damn, that was quick. All right, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, it's not far-fetched that he had a bunch of women in his house. It does sound like the lady was lying about some things or was withholding some type of information, but I think he got mad because she was talking too much, and he may have strangled her or put his hands on her in some harmful way. And it's not. I mean, I'm sure it's two sides to the story. I wish he would have got on the stand and said his just due, so we
Right.
understand both plights. But I don't know. I think something went down. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and that's
I agree. I
yeah.
agree. Thank you for coming up. I believe some happened, but she ain't got no evidence, so it is what it is. Thank you for coming up. All right.
You're welcome, man. I hope you get your date with your crush. With her.
Appreciate you. Take care now.
All right, it's okay.
Bye bye. Oh my god. Yeah, it's just like damn, girl. Like, if this man really did all this to you, you didn't go in the bathroom. Like, you didn't go in the bathroom, take video, take photos. Even the thoughts do that. Even the thoughts do that. You know, but listen, they say out of every situation, there's a learning lesson, and you got to take accountability. The accountability is don't shit where you eat? Yeah, don't shit where you eat. I think that's the saying. Don't shit where you eat. Just don't. Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I sure can. What's your comment tonight?
I totally agree with everything you're saying. I feel like something happened. I think she's withholding like the reason she's suing him. I think a lot of things. So I'm gonna speak in code because of YouTube and how litigious people could be. First
Mm-hmm.
of all, the celebrity who shall not be named, she always had her hand in it because she texted Mila Adams and said, "Oh, why are you blowing this out of proportion? Take it down. You know he didn't do what you said he did. Blah blah blah." So if you don't think anything happened, why are you texting her and why are you trying to work behind the scenes to pretty much try to diffuse the situation? Clearly, you know how that man gets down. Clearly, you know that he gets angry, and you're trying to pretty much like diffuse it before it blows up and goes to court. Second of all, I was looking at it, and the NFL made a statement. All these big news platforms made a statement. He lost stuff. I feel like she's thinking about her son. She's thinking about her reputation. She's thinking about how he's connected with her. So she did something behind the scenes because everyone knows that she dabbles in stuff. So it can have a certain outcome and he can be protected because ever since the beginning of the situation, she was already trying to intimidate the witness to protect him.
Mm.
And even when you think about like how she was acting on the stand and how she was confused, there's multiple aspects of it. I graduated nursing school a couple of days ago, and in mental health, we learned that people who are victims of DV, like when they recount things, they become like overwhelmed. So it comes across like they're lying, but they can be like so overwhelmed and traumatized that when they're trying to recount it, it seems like it's not making sense. So in the court of law, it seems like they're lying, but really it was like so traumatic that their brain blocks out certain parts of the event and whatnot. And also in certain aspects of spiritual stuff, when they do head work and when they do confusion, even if the person is in the wrong and the victim is in the right, it can confuse the victim. It can confuse the people who are going on the stand to make them look dumb, to affect like it's not glamour. It's like the opposite of it. It makes them look and be perceived like they're liars, like they're confused, like they don't know what they're talking about, like they're looking for money, even though they could very well be telling you the truth. Even the lawyer, when he was talking, it seemed like he didn't know he was thinking it and he knew what he wanted to say. But when he tried to articulate it to the court and to the people on the stand and whatnot, it seemed like he didn't know what he was talking about. It's like everything got misconstrued and misorganized. And third, the lawyer, this man has a long history of people that he's been doing stuff with. That redhead that spoke out on Tasha K. I don't know if he could have admitted him as a witness, but that guy said that guy gets down violently. He likes putting his hands on people. People know that he likes putting his hands on people. I feel like a lot of things were fumbled in this case in general.
I believe so as well, and it's sad, but you know, it's one of those
It's what you
things.
can prove.
But it goes back to what you can prove, and it also goes back to do not sleep with your boss. Do not sleep with your boss.
Period.
Do not
And,
sleep with your employees. Period.
and don't mess with people who have people that they're dating that dabble in stuff, in spiritual stuff, and you're not protected like
Mhm.
that, or you believe in a completely different system, and their protections and whatever they do can overpower you in your case and whatever you're going against.
That's a good point. Thank you for coming up. You have a good one. All right.
Thank you so much, Storm.
All right. Now. Bye
Okay.
bye. All right. All right. Sierra, you're up.
Hey, Storm.
Hey.
Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
I'm saying you have been working, haven't you? I feel like you've been on here back to back to back. And it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem like a binge poster almost. Like you disappear for a week, we looking for you, and then you come back and you bang us hard with all of this crazy info. You really do. But I was thinking with the Stefon situation, I don't understand why y'all think Cardi is doing her, hocus pocus voodoo hoodoo in this situation when it's so lightweight. I feel like this doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't even, there's no evidence. Everyone seemed like it's not a big deal. But it's like she didn't use all that hoodoo voodoo and he was being accused of all that boss stuff and attacking that booty bandit dude. So why now?
You know what? You know what? You are hilarious. You are
Don't
hilarious.
chuckle. Don't just chuckle.
The crazy thing is, a lot of times when they be doing work on people, the shit it be like an ongoing thing. So who says she ain't doing something in the background? A lot of times they throw shit back and forth and forth. Back. I don't know. I just looked at this lady's attorney and I'm like, damn, he looked disheveled and he looked confused. I said, I wonder.
Yeah, that's the average defense attorney. They don't make no damn money. Only the prosecutors do. They all tired. Tired, underpaid, filing bankruptcy. Hell, he ain't making no money off this. Clearly, look, she finna lose. He ain't even finna make his little percentage off the winnings. Oh my God.
And he didn't give a damn. He said, y'all, you gonna do what you want. You go like
Right.
fuck.
Just
Like
trifling.
at least try. At least try. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. And he,
Mm-mm.
not to get out talking about, I feel like he is an embarrassment to Cardi, but it's like she knew better. She a real thug. She know what it mean to F raw. She had 3 kids already. I feel like 2026, any woman with kids, we know what it take to have a baby. If you get pregnant, you wanted to. You may
You
not
want it.
admit it. You may not, I don't know, but subconsciously, yes, you did. You wanted the baby
Yep.
if you getting pregnant now.
And,
So
and,
it's
and
like,
and the thing
girl,
is too, we have to keep in mind she's Hispanic, and Hispanic people don't trip off having kids like that.
that is true. They do believe
Right?
in the huge family.
Yeah, they
You'll
don't.
see
They
10
don't.
of them motherfuckers come out of clown car. Yeah, they do believe in the big family stuff.
Yeah, they don't. They
But
don't.
not
They
with
don't.
multiple daddies. They believe in big families, but they be married to the man. I don't know.
No,
Maybe different
sometimes
people, but I usually don't
no.
see that.
Well, no, I'm gonna say this because I've worked with a lot of them. Sometimes they do have multiple dads, but they stay married, so they don't. So we
Oh,
don't.
that's true.
So we don't know the difference. So we have to. So one thing people got to keep in mind: white men, Hispanic men, and white women and Hispanic women, they continue to get married. They don't care about being a step parent.
Yeah, they just keep it going.
They just keep it fucking going. Yep.
Oh, that's true. And then, yeah, she got the means to dip on that ass when it don't work out, which is exactly what she did.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Anything else, Sierra?
Nope, that's all. I'll just say before I go. Last time I was up here during like the Jocelyn stuff we was talking about and the DL stuff, and I was up here for 30 fucking hours, and you didn't even rush me off, Storm. So thank you for that.
You welcome. You
Oh,
welcome.
and one more thing, Storm. I did email you about the webinar, but I was trying to get like the additional services, and you would not let me.
What you mean I would let you?
You wouldn't let me get the additional services we was talking about on the last live.
Okay, let me go back and look at your email.
Okay. All right.
All
Bye.
right. Take it easy. All right. All right. Well, we waiting on a deliberation. Oh, and to that phone call, that's perfect. All right. Let me hit. Listen, you better tell them the last class was amazing. The last class was amazing. All right? Amazing. Y'all need to get y'all tickets for Monetize Your Mouth. In addition to that, keep in mind that guess what? The rest of the stuff on my website is currently half off. All right. Okay. So if you come over here, all right, as you guys can see, the Canva thumbnail class replay, where I literally go through, this is a 4-hour class on how to design click-worthy thumbnails with Canva. We audited a couple channels, baby. You can get that replay for $14.44. The Ultimate Streaming Content Creator Tour Guides, tour guide toolkit. It's a bunch of ebooks all in one. So I literally give you a breakdown on how to use Canva, how to use StreamYard, how to use OBS, Restream, Streamlabs, and Riverside. $14.44. I'm also gonna break it up to where I sell these individually for like, I don't know, $3.33 or $5, you know, or whatever. Because some people like, I just need to know how to use OBS. I don't need Restream. I don't need Stream, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna finish that today. The complete YouTube masterclass replay, our very first class, 0 to 100K, is on sale for $14.44. The non-tech creators YouTube ebook. This was a damn good ebook, baby. Damn good ebook. It is on sale for $13.33. Y'all better get these set. Look. I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you. Hey, I'm trying to tell you. And guess what? No names. No names. No shame. It's on sale for $7.77. It was a good book, baby. It was a good book. It is a good book. It ain't went no damn where. Y'all better get y'all no names. No names. No shame. All right. So I will continue to post these links in the chat for y'all. Let me get these links all in there to everything. Baby, take advantage. Take advantage. Now, we done sat there and gave all that money to these fuck ass schools that didn't mean us no good, but we ain't gonna pay for education that's gonna create us another stream of income that's gonna change, that can change your life, because no results are guaranteed, but you ain't gonna sue me. I ain't Stormy Wellington. All right. Hey, I got my 5-day Zoom class. Period. Okay. Listen, baby. I don't play no games. These classes were long, but we went through everything we needed to go through, in addition to answering questions, you know. And guess what? Just like I teach y'all, I also learn more even when I teach y'all. I sure enough do. I sure do. All right. My education paid off. Well, God bless you and your education being paid off. All right. We got Talent just signed up for no name. Oh, not no name. Wait. For the webinar. All right. Come on, Talon. Come on. Or Talon. I think it's Talon. Better get your webinar. You better get your webinar. Do you see the case of the DoorDash? I got to look that up for her. Okay, they still deliberating. All right. Y'all better get y'all webinar. We running it up all year. We don't give a damn what this economy say. You hear me? We not taking it laying down. They just not gonna take it from us. They think we gonna lay on the bed and just let them take it. Hell nah. We fighting, baby. We fighting. You don't give a damn what these jobs got to say. Now, we will use these jobs to pay the bills, but at the end of the day, we're gonna have multiple streams coming in. All right. That's how you do it. Do it like it's your B-Day, baby. All right. So let me go. I got to go grab something from outside. I'll be right while we sitting here waiting, shit, they taking forever. Come on now. Is it guilty? Not guilty? What it is? I'm gonna be so mad if they say come back tomorrow. I'm gonna be so mad. By the way, anybody else want to come hit the link? I'll put it on in here for you. Anybody else want to hit that link? All right. Say guilty. Tony said guilty. Okay. Also, let me ask y'all this while we wait on that. Would anybody be interested in a one-on-one mentorship with me? Like either a 6 month, yeah, I say six, we do 6 months at a time, like a 6 month one-on-one mentorship with me. You get my personal phone number and everything. Yeah. This phone right here. This phone right here. The business phone. Y'all want me to put that option up there? $101. Okay, we hop on this call. We hop on this phone when you need. You did. We're gonna have a scheduled set time every week where we get together anyway. But you got a question, hey Storm, blah blah blah, and I go, hey, blah blah blah, or call me. Yeah. No, this is the business phone, baby. This the personal right here. This personal. This is the business right here. That's what I use for business. My interviews, people, my guests, all that. Right there. Let me put in. Well, hold on. I should be able to hear her. What's going on, Faye?
Hey, Storm. Long time no hear. How you been?
I know, right? I've been good. How you been?
Good. So, question, because I was writing in the chat. What y'all think Cardi B is? Well, what do you think? How she feels knowing? Do you think she even knew about anything with this chef lady or the Lindsay lady? Like, what you think is now coming to path with her?
With Cardi? First off, let me say shout out to Corlissa that just got her Monetize Your Mouth webinar ticket. All right, shout out to Corlissa. I want to say this. I think Cardi knew, maybe not when it happened at first, but Cardi knows this. For Cardi know everything. Cardi know what people say about her on the fucking internet. So we think she ain't gonna know what's going on in her house. I mean, in her nigga house. Come on now.
That's wild though, to be around all of that, knowing everybody hunched on him, and like that's weird. Like he got to chill with that. Like look what's costing him now. I just feel like with her, with no evidence, I don't think it did not happen. I think something did happen, but and some people deal with trauma differently. Like she wanted to party, and it's possible her bruises could have, if it wasn't that bad, it could have went away in hours. That happens too. I mean, she is light skinned, but that could happen. Everybody bruises differently, but
come on, Faye. This is what people not consider. This is what people not considering too. When you start fucking somebody, and you develop feelings, this lady lived with him, cooking for him, fucking cleaning, and he done laid his hands on her. Her mind was all fucking twisted.
Yeah, and then it's funny because everybody is saying the same thing pretty much. Like she came right back, and that's the only part I didn't get with her. And I know you said that it does make sense that she was all over the place, but like she came back and she was still doing stuff. Like,
now me personally,
Yeah,
You
I
might
don't.
be my ass once. I ain't coming back to your house though.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like this, unless this is how they always are, and she got fed up. Like she probably did this before, and she got fed up. You know what I'm saying? Like you get what I'm saying? Like she probably got fed up, and then also the leaking with the blogger. I didn't even know about that part. I was just like, wow, she did that because I didn't even know about this other person he was messing with. I didn't. Once I saw that she sued him, I'm like, they had something going on. But this is criminal, y'all. She ain't just suing him. This is criminal to get him in like trouble. Like this is criminal.
To get him in trouble. And
Hmm.
but I'm calling it now. We about to see the downfall of this nigga.
Well,
The Patriots released him.
yeah. Yeah, my husband was saying that. I said, "Is that what they do? They just let him play, knowing all this is going on?" He was like, "Yeah, they're gonna back him up, and as soon as the league is over, the season or whatever, the Super Bowl is over, then they're gonna release him." I said, "Wow."
And remember, they didn't win. It ain't like he won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah, that made it even worse. On top of you doing your mess outside the NFL, then you lose. Come on, and then he lost Cardi that day. What if she found out all that stuff that day? What if that's what it was?
Well,
Maybe she found out like the real truth. What if it wasn't just about the other baby moms? It probably add, sauce to the situation. But like, what if she found out like the real truth? Like you really was hunching on this girl. You mean like, what if she? I don't know. And then she got back with him. So like you said, Cardi do be knowing stuff. She got right back with him. So I don't know what to say. Like,
and we got to remember too, Cardi's still a woman at the end of the day. So
mm-hmm,
if he around her choking bitches, then Cardi's still gonna be like, "But damn, what if this nigga do it to me?"
mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, but Cardi a fighter too. But I don't see her calling the cops on him though. Because she, street. I don't see her doing that. But I don't know. You never know. He a football player, so
And that's a big nigga. Like
yeah,
even not taking into account, that's a big nigga.
yeah. And she said she was 5 foot. I'm 5 foot. I could just imagine that he slammed her, slapped, he slapped her. Like it sound like what it was they had an understanding, and she crossed the boundaries of talking too much and going, especially to the blogger, and on the blogger and her got history. It made it just worse. That's what it sounded like, and she just got fed up. And
Especially the blogger that she did go to of all.
yeah. Mm-hmm. That just she knew what she was doing. If she actually did that, that's what they saying she did, right? If she really, really did that, she knew exactly what she was doing. She was
Yep.
playing her part. And I think what happened is because she kept mentioning, oh, he's in a high profile. And I'm like, you're not ashamed? Like, you just like saying that. I'm not trying to like victim blame her, but I'm looking at her like, so you wanted to be the bottom bitch in the house. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And then when you realize other people was getting hunched on, yeah, it's too much. He got to change. He got to get himself together. Like it's gonna keep happening. That's the crazy part. It's gonna keep happening. It's gonna be worse the next time.
Yeah, it's gonna be worse the next time. And
Hmm.
he has to practice dick discipline. But for
Hmm.
some reason with these men, and I'm gonna say black men, don't get me wrong, ain't nobody more sexually deviant than a white man. But the problem is the white
Right.
man is white.
Yep. They get away with a lot. And also too, they put things in places like why was she not on the NDA?
Yep.
Why is she living with you? That's the
Yep.
first thing. She could get an apartment right down the street and come over every day. There's a lot of people that do not live with their chefs. That's another boundary cross. And she should have been looking at that like, then I gotta see you with Cardi and whoever. Like, come on, you gotta just use your brain with that. So that's what you were saying about taking accountability. Like you kind of put yourself in that situation, even though it's probably a sweet deal too. Like I ain't got no bills to pay. I just, cook for him, do what I need to do. But sometimes it don't be worth it. Look what's going on now.
I do got a question though. Is this legal? Can you have a girlfriend on contract or is that illegal?
I think you can. It's just like it's kind of like when you're like if your spouse, like if you were married and your spouse works for you. Wasn't Nicki Minaj husband her manager? Yeah, you can.
Mm.
Yeah, you can. It's just long as you just file the right paperwork and pay them and like follow the regulations what you're supposed to do when you're an employer. But yeah, I think it doesn't matter. It's up to you.
But
Some go ahead.
can you say like, hey, I'll pay your rent and we have intercourse 3 times a month, 4 times a month, whatever. Can you
Well,
do that? Or is that prostitution?
That is a borderline prostitution, but
Uh,
is that what you're working for, to have sex with him, or are you trying to be his chef? You see, that's the difference. That
no,
was
no, take the
pleasure.
chef out of it. Take the chef out of it.
Okay.
This is just like, hey, I like you. I fucks with you, but I ain't finna live with you. I got paper. Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
I'll get you an apartment around the corner. Just say, hey, let me slide through on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Other than that, I ain't gonna bother you.
Well, that's where you get a lawyer to draft up a contract, and then you can use certain words, because it wouldn't be prostitution. You just say that you are footing a bill for her or their expenses,
Mm,
along with dinner and dining and stuff like that. And you read between the lines, like that type of thing. But you
okay.
cannot put that that would be a sex worker. You that, or a prostitute. You can't put, you can't do that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but that wasn't even his girlfriend. That was just a person to him, like a worker that, obviously they started off that way and it escalated into, oh, you can cook. Okay, well, you need to come cook for me and then live with me too so I can have easy access. That's all it was.
That's all it was. That's
Easy
all it was.
access, and knowing that every time, I remember I wrote it in the chat, every time she was talking about him, she's looking at him and you could see she's hurt and she
Hmm.
was in love. She was in love. That's crazy. Impressionable, man. Mm-mm-mm.
But remember too, allegedly he's bisexual. He's in touch with his feminine side. Women love men that are a little gay. I believe outside of his craziness, he's probably a really cool dude to be around.
You know what? Also, too, the point of it is money. The money of it, the fame of it. Just to say, I know Stefon Diggs. I had sex with Steph like that. It's just that too. Like, so you know that he might be saucy on the side. And you don't care. But I'm gonna speak as a woman. I do care about that. So like,
Okay.
no, you know what I'm saying? No. But I think a lot of times they settle because they want what they want out of it. Look, what she's living for free. She's getting a nice paycheck or somewhat of a good paycheck. I don't know. So it just seemed like she just was mesmerized by his money and what he bring. That's what it seemed like to me, Storm. That's what it seemed like. Like, I didn't even know this was being televised. Like, this is crazy.
Me either.
This is
Inside
crazy.
Hockey Life 323 said, absolutely not. Straight women don't want fairies, ballerina.
Yeah.
I've
Shout
heard
out to
so
Inside.
maybe it's a younger girl thing. I've heard a lot of these young girls say, "Oh, I like my man a little gay," but what they mean is like he'll sit and watch Housewives with him. He'll watch baddies with him. He's in
Yeah,
touch with his
like that.
feelings.
That's every girl want they man to watch their shows with them, and they ultimately end up doing it. But we don't want you to be zesty, and no, and that's no shade. We don't want that. We don't. That's a problem. And I want you to live in your truth. So I wouldn't even want you to be trying to use me as a beard. That's just never okay. Live in your truth.
That's a fact. That's a
Mm-hmm.
fact. Let me ask you this before I let you go.
Go ahead.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on DL women?
See, DL women, like for what I've seen, okay, I'm gonna be transparent, y'all. My sister was that. So, she's married with kids and all of the above, but she's bisexual. She it was a religion thing, and just like them ladies from the trial, they're Trinidadian, so am I. So
Okay.
it's a culture thing, and now my niece is that. And so she, is embracing that for her daughter and stuff like that. And so are we. Now my mom years ago wasn't having that, but she's 67, she got better. So she just recently went to the prom, and it's like she sent me a picture and she took the girl picture out, and I'm like, why she do that? And I was texting my mom, I said, you know why she doing that, mom? Because she not ready, and she know our values and stuff like that. But we've gotten better, and it took my sister to change that. So it's just whenever she's ready. And I think that's what it is your background, your values, and being a letdown to other people. That's what they think. So that's the same thing with guys too. I think it's all around. I feel like that's why
Mhm.
a lot of people don't live in their truth, because they don't want to let people down and don't want to be judged by even strangers, because strangers do it too.
Man, you better lay your life down with these people say.
That's what I was saying to my mom. I said, listen, my niece is graduating at 17. She's in college already. She finna
Wow.
be in the Navy. Yes, she's a very smart kid. I mean, well, her attitude is poor, but I mean, other than that, like she's horrible. But as far as like that, I'm like, it is what it is. Like we can't do that. We can't make her feel less than she's already a young lady that's progressing way ahead of her time. Like so, we can't do that. So I just said to my mom, whenever she's ready, because I already knew years ago, but whenever she's ready to say it, I'll be here for her. And so my mom too. My mom has came around. I gotta give her that.
That's good. My aunt is a lesbian. My aunt is a lesbian. And the crazy thing is, I had seen a picture of her in my grandmama house. She probably was like 5 or 6, something like that. And I'm like, this lady never looked right in the dress. Like you can't, you know what I'm saying? I was just
It was
like,
like
I'm like, girl, you was
just
meant
from
to
the
be a
rip.
stud.
Yeah. From the rip. Same thing with my sister. Been masculine, play basketball, but it's so weird. She's get her hair's dyed, eyelashes, makeup. Like she's more girlier than me. And it just be like,
So
that's how you get.
is she a STEM, like a feminist stud?
She, you know what she says? I hate to say my sister's name. She says, I'm Candace. Because I try to ask her those things. And
That
she's
part.
like, yeah. She'd be like, I'm Candace. But if you see her, you wouldn't think that. Well, get to know her, yes. Yes, yes, yes. But if you
Okay.
see her, nope, she dressed up like a girl. Mm-mm. That's just what it is. In the house, she'll wear ball shorts, wife beater. But when she go outside and stuff like that, she dresses up. She dresses up. It's just eyebrows always done, red hair, eyelashes, nails, all of the above. So,
Mm-mm. Thank you, Faith, for coming up. All right.
all right, Storm. Talk to you later.
All right now. Bye bye. That's an interesting topic too. I want to get into. Y'all see my watermelon back there? Y'all see we got another watermelon. All right. Okay. Rosebud. Oh, you ain't seen these tattoos before, Rosebud? Okay. So look, this is one arm. This is the inside of that arm. Okay. And then wait, no, it ain't on that hand. That's the newest one on the hand. That's the outside of that. Okay. You should know this. You got this here. Got that here. Let's see. You got. Told you I still got my pajamas on, but hey, I took a shower. Oh, and I got that there. If you read Arabic, you know what it's saying. If you don't, you don't. Hold on. So I ain't got no drawers. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Back up. So this right here is a poem from my mom from her book. Like it was like a note to me. And then that's 1993. I mean, I guess I wanted to remember the year I was born. And then I don't know if y'all could see that. You might not be able to see that. But that's an elephant. Long story long. Boom, there we go. And to me, four laid that motherfucker out. 4 laid that motherfucker out. Oh, and then I got it's lyrics from one of my favorite Linkin Park songs on my ribs. How long? Oh, when I wear a draw, I don't hardly wear a draw. I be out here walking. I'm finna because I'm doing laundry now. Finna put on these basketball shorts, no drawers, and I'm finna. I'm free. I don't like to wear drawers unless I just have to. But I mean, y'all outside. I wear sweats, no drawers, short shorts, no drawers. I don't give a damn. I really don't. Hate the way drawers feel. Like, do you have any back tattoos? Yep, I got my last name in the middle of my back. Yep, I sure do. I love tattoos. I have a lot of tattoos. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna hold you. And the crazy thing is, I was filling out this thing for background work the other day. And they said, list all your tattoos. I just put covered. Like, girl, I'm not finna list all that shit. Sir. Yeah, I don't wear no drawers. I don't give a damn. What do I need? I ain't got no drawers on now. I just put my meat over to the side. I ain't got no drawers for what? What do I need drawers for? Maybe is that why people be looking at me sometimes and staring? I don't give a damn. Yeah, 4 from Black Ink. Yeah. He did my elephant. Did he do anything else? Oh, and he did the poem. Yeah, so he did both my thigh tattoos. And my homegirl was like, "Oh, you got them bad bitch tattoos." I said, "Yeah, too late. I got the bad bitch tattoos. It's too late." What do I need to put on? I don't necessarily be wearing gray sweatpants. My green ones, my black, the black, you really good for the most part. Yeah, like it's like for what? You ain't seeing nothing. So monetize your mouth. You are listen. Okay, that's an ad. Are they back yet? Okay, they still okay. Let's see, you better monetize your mouth. What if you bump into something? Do it hurt? I mean, even if I got drawers on and I bump into something, it'll hurt. If I got jeans on, I normally will put on drawers just because the zipper situation. You zip up your meat, that shit hurts. That shit hurts. Yeah, I never met Ryan from Black Ink. I never met him, but yeah, me and four are literally friends. So, Storm, how does it feel getting? Wow, I didn't read that all the way before I put that up. Wow. How does it feel? Damn, it's hard to describe it. Baby, I started getting them tattoos up here to cover a lot of them eczema scars. That's where I started up here because all of that, you can't really see it now, but all of that was like old acne scars and from when I used to wrestle and I had broke out real bad. Anyway, now everything else, I just did that because I wanted to do that shit. How does it feel? It's hard to describe how it feels. But I will tell you this though. So yeah, I am cut. Do I wish I wasn't? I do wish I wasn't. Because I would have way more nerve endings. But yeah, I am cut. My mama made that decision. Yeah, when I was 3 months. Yeah, when I was 3 months. So yeah. But my daddy is, so I guess she figured my daddy is. And then I just believe she didn't want to clean this shit. Now, my mama told me back in the 90s, they used to tell mothers that, hey, get them circumcised. It'll reduce the chance of STDs, which we know that ain't really like the truth. But that's what mothers were told in the 90s. That's what she told me. And then she said she didn't want to have to figure out how to. Because my old man is good. So, I mean, he wasn't even gonna know. Yeah. Let's see. You said, how does it feel? It's hard to describe. I can say though, okay, so the vaginal canal, all right, as well as the inside of your cheek. So feel the inside of your cheek, feel the roof of your mouth, right? And imagine your vaginal canal. They're made out of the same material. I don't know if you knew that. They're made out of the same material. So yeah, it's hard to describe how that feels though. If you're not a man, it's like or infection of clit. Yeah, that's what they told mothers back in the day for sure. Now, people getting that shit done as an adult or like 6, that would be traumatic to get circumcised at 16. That would be traumatic. Yeah. Oh God, that's awful. Now I've sat on my balls before, and that shit hurts like hell. That shit hurts like hell. You said poor Rosebuds. I didn't look. It ain't even nighttime. I ain't know you was gonna ask me a question like that. My God. No, that is true. Yes, the vaginal canal and the inside of the cheek, the buccal mucosa, are lined with very similar, if not identical, tissue types. Both are composed. I learned this in school. I took a whole semester on it. Both are composed of non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, a moist mucosous membrane designed to be sensitive and absorbent. Just like the inside of your mouth is meant to be absorbent of nutrients, the inside of the vaginal canal is meant to be absorbent of the man's fluid and his DNA and everything that come with him. Just keeping it real. Literally, you absorb everything that come with him. Now, if you need to get rid of a man, if you need to cut ties with a man, baby, you need you some spiritual help. I want you to DM me or email me because I know somebody that can help you cut them cords. Is somebody watching this right now? You watching this on your phone and you thinking of that nigga that you don't want to think about no more. And you like, wow, I just can't get over him. Not understanding you got to cut the cord. You got to do it, baby. So go ahead and hit my line. DM me on Instagram or email me, monroestorm59@gmail.com. And I got a spiritual worker for you. Okay, they still not back yet. I literally feel like they coming back tomorrow. What do you think about Spirit Airlines? I hate they got rid of them. Like I told you, I never had a problem with Spirit Airlines. Never had an issue. Then I heard Delta canceling a bunch of flights. I don't know. You don't hear freaky diggy. You know what? I ain't mad at you though. That's what I bring out. What's the name, Storm? The name of what? The spiritual person? Oh no, you just need to DM me or email me for that. Storm, how do you feel about the Diggs trial? I don't feel bad because he has zero self-control, which is crazy. If you can't control yourself from sleeping with everything that walks, there's a problem. I have no sympathy for Diggs. He did this to himself. He won't stop. And so he's learning the hard way. But it ain't over. Whether she lose or win, we're going to see more lawsuits. We're going to see more loss. It's going to get worse before it get better. Cardi wasn't playing when she said good luck. She wasn't playing. But yeah, I never had a problem with Spirit. Wow. Yeah, I never had a problem with Spirit. Frontier seats are terrible. I didn't like Frontier. Come on, y'all. Shit, I gotta make. I still wasn't able to make lunch. I'm over here hungry now. Finna give me some more popcorn. Fuck it. No, I went and took a nap, and then I had to answer a phone call. Yeah, because I ain't ate all day. This is my first meal today. Because I got right on this morning with this trial. Sure. Other comments said him listen, lost Cardi, lost the Super Bowl, got sued. And I'm so mad, y'all. I want some tequila so bad. Mm-mm-mm. Did he really lose Cardi? It ain't gonna be the same. It ain't gonna be the same between them. Do you not get morning sickness after drinking? Not unless I mix liquors. Yeah, not unless I mix liquors. Now that I do got that cut water in there, but I'm not gonna touch it. Now that cut water, I ain't even remember. The next day. I'm like, damn, I don't even remember last night. You said you still need to try cut water. It was. I'm gonna put you like this. It get the job done. The one I had to taste was okay. I'm not crazy about it, but it's okay. But damn, it's gonna get the job done. I only had one can. I only had one can. That I know that cut water took me over the edge. Inside High Key Life 323 said that's spike juice. Listen, new school MD 2020. How many cans do you have to drink to get crunk? That depends on the person. And then I sat back and thought about it like, okay, cut water, MD 2020. I'm like, yeah, this is new school MD 2020. And it's a mess. It it gets to your head when you don't drink often. That's a fact. But still, it's something different in that cup water. Or are you supposed to cut it with water? I'm gonna tell you, in Atlanta, they got that cup water. bar, a restaurant, or whatever. Bitch, I ain't going. I know I ain't going. Come on, y'all. Damn, y'all could have. Damn, come on. Y'all could have just said y'all was gonna come back tomorrow. Shit. I feel like it ain't gonna taste good if you cut it with water, though. Oh no, that was tequila I mixed it with. Oh my god, this is terrible. This is freaking terrible. They literally could have just said we'll come back in the morning. Literally. Yep, because I was drinking tequila. Sure did. I know, Chrissy. Chrissy, like, you making me want popcorn. Look, I'm gonna go floss my teeth and brush them again, but sometimes you get to work and you be like, "Fuck, I'm hungry." She lying. Everybody thinks she lying. Well, Storm, what happened with the white shooting? They ain't talk no more else about that shit. They ain't talk no more else about that. Uh-oh, let me answer that. Got a little time. All right, we back. We back. I had to answer that call, y'all. I had to answer that call. What do you think the new about the new vehicles coming out with I'm not buying no new vehicle. Give me old school. Give me a. I mean, they ain't quite coming out with it yet. I think it's gonna be in the 2028 models, 2027. But you can even give me one of these right here. You can give me that right there. You can give me that right there. What? With some rims, a paint job? You could give me that right. No, that was not that. That was some business. That was not no little girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. I have not had a girlfriend since 2015. All right. Don't let anybody tell you different. Don't let anybody fool you. Why get a car when the gas is so hot? That part. I also heard they have chips that allow the government to shut down your vehicle. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Let you tell shit. That's the truth. I ain't had no girlfriend since 2015, 11 years ago, and she married. She married. Probably got some kids. Probably got some kids by now. 11 years. What's the story time? I just been doing me. What's the story there? What you mean? Listen, I don't trip off that like most people do. I just live my life. I just live. And I experience life, and maybe some people experience me and I experience them. And then when that experience is over, you let them go about their way. How much is gas where I'm at? Ooh, I would have to go look. I gotta fill up. Well, I gotta top it off. I'm gonna top it off tonight or tomorrow. I think it's. Let me see how much gas is here. I don't even remember. Gas is about. Hold on. Wait, what's today? May 5th. Gas is. All right, about 304 for regular. Oh, they're back? Hold up. Oh, they're back. Okay.
Assault and battery, and the 3 for strangulation. So, Mr. Clerk, if you'd mark this for identification, my intention would be just to re-instruct them.
Fuck the hell up. Why can't I hear anything?
All right.
Amen.
A for identification.
What the fuck? What can I hear now?
Mr. Clerk, can I have the tissues?
Jurors entering, all rise.
Oh. There we go.
May be seated.
All right, jurors, I did receive your question, which reads, what are the 3 criteria for assault and battery and the 3 for strangulation? So let me begin with the assault and battery. The defendant is charged with having committed an assault and battery upon Mila Adams. In order to prove the defendant guilty of committing an intentional assault and battery, the Commonwealth must prove 3 things beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that the defendant touched the person of
387
Mila
here.
Adams. Second, that the defendant intended to touch Mila Adams. And third, that the touching was either likely to cause bodily harm to Mila Adams or was offensive. To prove the first element, the Commonwealth must prove the defendant touched Mila Adams. A touching is any physical contact, however slight. A touching may be direct, as when a person strikes another, or it may be indirect, as when a person sets in motion some force or instrumentality that strikes another. To prove the second element, the Commonwealth must prove that the defendant intended to touch Mila Adams in the sense that the defendant consciously and deliberately intended the touching to occur and that the touching was not merely accidental or negligent. The Commonwealth is not required to prove that the defendant specifically intended to cause injury to Mila Adams. To prove the third element, the Commonwealth must prove that the touching was either likely to cause bodily harm to Mila Adams or was offensive. A touching is offensive when it is without consent. The defendant is charged with strangulation, and to prove the defendant guilty of this offense, the Commonwealth must prove 3 things beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that the defendant intentionally applied pressure on the throat or neck of Mila Adams. Second, that the pressure was substantial. And third, that the pressure interfered with the normal breathing or circulation of blood of Mila Adams. To prove the first element, the Commonwealth must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant intentionally applied pressure on the throat or neck of Mila Adams. The Commonwealth must
They're in
prove
Massachusetts.
that the defendant consciously and deliberately intended the touching to occur and that it was not merely accidental or negligent. You may examine any evidence regarding the defendant's actions or words and all the surrounding circumstances to determine whether the defendant intended to apply pressure to the throat of or neck of Mila Adams. To prove the second element, the Commonwealth must prove beyond a reasonable. You may consider evidence, if any, about how, where, when, and for what duration the pressure was applied, as well as any evidence of its effect or impact on Mila Adams. To prove the third element, the Commonwealth must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the pressure that was applied interfered with the normal breathing or circulation of blood of Mila Adams. If a reasonable doubt, you should return a verdict of guilty. If the Commonwealth has failed to prove one or more of the elements beyond a reasonable doubt, you must find the defendant not guilty. With that, I will send you back to your deliberations.
All rise, jurors can step down.
She brought them out to read that shit again. Oh.
What stands in a recess?
Later. Oh God.
It's illegal to drive without car insurance in almost every US state, but there's one thing you could try pretty much any
Girl,
time
shut
if you want to
your
save.
ass up. Oh, Valentine said, "Love you, Storm. Love you too." Damn. Okay, well, it's 422 there. So it's like, come on, y'all, get to it. Get to it. Damn. Storm, for your willing consideration, do you accept for your writing consideration, do you accept poetry? For your writing, what do you mean for my writing consideration? Like, would I want somebody to write me poetry? What you mean? Oh, it's split. Okay, okay. I missed that first part then. Okay. Yeah, tell me what you mean. What you mean? What you mean? Are you selling poetry? What you trying to say? Some jury members must have needed clarity. Oh Lord. No evidence, and all of the witnesses didn't see any evidence. It ain't no evidence. If I didn't know who Stefon was, if I didn't know who he was, who Cardi was, and not considering anything else we've heard in the media, it's not guilty. It's not guilty. Oh, when you wanted some writing examples, would you accept poetry as well as script? Oh, okay, okay. Maybe. Just depends. What hey, Crystal got her ticket to the Monetize Your Mouth webinar. While we sitting here worried about Steph, okay, and this lady, we need to be worried about monetizing our mouths. Don't you want to monetize your mouth? Because I monetize my mouth. I'ma always monetize my mouth. I'ma always use my mouth to get money. And I want to teach y'all how to do it too. 5-night workshop where we go through all the tools, the tips and the tricks that you need to be successful on YouTube. Although keep in mind that no results are guaranteed. I ain't no damn Stormy Wellington. Okay. Yeah, get your ticket. Shout out to Crystal, just got her ticket. All right. Monetize your mouth. Monetize your mouth. Especially y'all that love to talk. What you think about the K. Anthony Frisco? I didn't even see that. I gotta look that up, Tony. I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that. Hold up, y'all. Give me 1 second. Who said they thought I was changing it? I thought about it. When y'all kept complaining about it, I sure thought about doing monetize your voice, but monetize your mouth. Monetize your mouth. What if we in Cali? How does the workshop work? Can we play it back later? Yes, you get the link to the replay when we're done. So It's going to start 7 p.m. Central Standard. So that's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. But the replay is available. As soon as Zoom processes, downloads the file, I upload it as a replay and I give you the unlisted link. Yeah. Yeah. Monetize your mouth. Monetize your mouth. Monetize your mouth. I need somebody to make me a jingle. I hear that in my head. Monetize your mouth. Monetize your mouth. I love Cardi and I hate him. She should have never had a baby with him. Is Monetize Your Mouth supposed to give advice regarding any kind of content? Yeah, I mean, we're specializing in YouTube, but of course, you know, if you make stuff for TikTok, Instagram, I can give you my thoughts on it for sure. Yeah. You need to accept the gift also. Yeah, monetize your mouth in May. I love alliteration. Monetize your mouth in May. Is Wendy Williams still locked in that facility? Ooh, I have not heard nothing about Wendy in a while. I'm waiting on the one-on-one because I'm not competing with folks. Just want to hear themselves talk about. Okay, so yeah, I have the links available for people that want one-on-one sessions. But if you want a one-on-one mentorship, if you want a 6-month mentorship, basically it's a VIP access to me. This phone right here, and this is the business phone, baby. This the personal, this the business. All right. I'm good at writing things. Email coming. I like the name too. So yeah, people just I think it's because it's me. People mind just being in the gutter. Did you see the Happy Nose card? We talked about that last night. They looked a hot ass mess. They looked a hot mess. Whole family out working. You want VIP? Okay. You want VIP access to me for 6 months? And keep in mind, I am the only one that uses this phone. Nobody else sees what goes on here. Nobody else sees. Yeah, I'll have that updated later tonight because I got to add the time slots on there. Everything through that one link so it's easy for people to go and just click and get what they need. You think they looked amazing? Okay, okay. Yeah, I didn't comment on Blue too much because she's a minor, you know, so I just left that alone. But I would say Beyonce looked weird and uncomfortable, like in the face. Can you teach us AI? We're having an AI expert come in and teach the class about how to use AI to make content. And she was showing me some of the tools she used. I was like, wow, that's really cool. So yeah, literally working their ass off. Oh my God, y'all. This is nuts. Yes, VIP access for mentorship. For mentorship. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That rock album coming. And she's gonna be channeling Tina Turner, but she didn't already hinted at that. But it's yeah. Now, yes, if it's pregnancy nausea, then that definitely makes sense. She definitely looked pregnant. And you know she loved to do 2-3 things at once. Mm-hmm. Yeah. B looked good, but hated the carpet she was dressed. Yeah. She should have wore the dress only. Monetize your mouth. Monetize your mouth. Could be menopause or perimenopause. You got to realize the lady is like 50. That is true. That is very true. I can come up with some shit, kind of. Storm, get them NDA. Listen, this is for mentorship. Storm, you should look into being an agent. I would be a great agent for these people. Either agent, PR. I would be, man. When I tell you, I would have cleaned the baby act up so bad, but I just feel like these niggas don't listen. But I'd have cleaned, man. I already knew the perfect way to get everybody mind off of how he was treating that girl. I would be too clean. Yeah, because if you do too much, I'm gonna be like, hey, come on now. I thought they confirmed Riri was preggers already. That part, I need a client that like to work. I didn't help some people that like to work though. One of them got he do big numbers on his channel. Another lady was able to leave her 6-figure construction management job. I'm just saying. But you gotta want to work, not just laying in bed, eating flaming hot Cheetos, not bathing. Not just laying in bed and chanting. Not just laying in the bed watching tarot card videos and zodiac videos on YouTube. You gotta get up and work. Did you see the video of Rihanna and ASAP after the event? No, but I will. I'm gonna look that up right after this. Storm needs to do cameos. Oh, I do need to get on Cameo. I need every bag they got. Let's put it like that. Every bag they got. At this point, too, let me go and get my damn. What you need to marry people? Oh, hold up. I think they're back. Are they back? Not Tony, the closer in there. What's up, Tony? But yeah, I need what they need to marry people? Your pass, what they call it? Pastor license? Pass. Damn, I should know. But yeah, let me know. Y'all want to book me to do your wedding to marry you? Do you want the celebrity doctor to marry you? Okay, they back? Okay, they back. Why I don't hear nothing though? They said not guilty. I can't hear shit though. Hold up.
Madam Forelady, has your jury agreed upon a verdict?
Yes.
On count 1, strangulation or suffocation, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
On count 2, the charge of assault and battery, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Madam Forelady, members of the jury, hearken to your verdict as the court has recorded it. Upon your oath, you say that the defendant is not guilty of the count of strangulation or suffocation and not guilty of the count of assault and battery. So say you, Madam Forelady?
Yes.
So say all members of the jury.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Jurors, please be seated for a moment. Everyone be jurors, I told you during this trial and in my instructions that the verdict was your responsibility and your responsibility alone. Jurors, I want to thank each of you for your careful attention and your service throughout this trial. This case has involved a heightened level of public attention. Despite that, you have remained focused on the evidence presented in this courtroom and the law as I instructed you. That is exactly what is required, and it is essential to the fair administration of justice. I recognize that serving as a juror in any case can be demanding, and in a case such as and sacrifice. The court is grateful for the seriousness and integrity with which you have carried out your responsibilities. Now that your service is complete, you are free to discuss the case with others if you choose, but you are not required to do so. You should not feel any obligation to speak with anyone, including members of the media. If you are approached, you may simply decline. Whether or not to speak is entirely your decision. All I can say is that on behalf of the court and the parties, thank you again for your public service, and you are now excused with the thanks of the court.
All rise, jurors, and step down.
Stefon Diggs, sir, you've been found not guilty on the following charges: strangulation or suffocation and assault and battery. Such charges will automatically be sealed by the Office of the Commissioner of Probation and the Clerk's Office, unless you notify the Commissioner of Probation in writing within 10 days that you do not want the charges sealed, using the request not to seal court records under General Laws.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Section 100C form.
I had to undo my mic.
Mass.gov. The request not to seal form must be sent to the Office of the Commissioner of Probation by mail or email to the addresses provided on the form. If you want copies of any documents associated with these charges, you must request them immediately before the charges are sealed. Once the charges are sealed, you will not have access to related documents unless you file a motion with the court asking to unseal. Sir, you've been found not guilty. You're free to go, sir.
Court, all rise. Just all media, you can step outside now, media, please. Court stands in a recess. Set up outside now. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Boy, go sit your ass down somewhere. All right, that's it. That's it, y'all. Not guilty. Not guilty. Now, is he actually not guilty? I don't know. But listen, stop shitting where you sleep, shitting where you eat. Wedding officiant. Yep, I need to get that too. I'm getting all my bags. You hear me? All of them. That video of her dancing, she was. Oh, well, Miss BBL Chef, you definitely do need some saving. Hold up. Also, I was right. You still need some saving. You just do. Yeah, send me the link. Y'all want me to do your wedding? Y'all want me to host your party? First off, you're gonna fly me out. Okay. I'm gonna get good accommodation. You're gonna take care of me. You're gonna pay my fee. But I'll come host the hell out your party. Well, Stone, go get your shit. Suddenly I kind of don't want to now. Give me the assistant, low key. Low key, I might go get the assistant instead. Oh my God. Yeah, this is a mess. This is a whole mess. All right. So they found Stefon Diggs not guilty. We've been on here all morning with this trial. I'm finna go get something to eat. Make sure you got your tickets for Monetize Your Mouth webinar. All right. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. We'll be back live tonight. 10 p.m. Central Standard, 11 p.m. on the East Coast, and 8 p.m. on the West Coast tonight to do our night show. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. And I will catch you all later.
It's Storm Show. Ay, it's Storm Show.